So we are here 2 days after Jo's just finished her 74k run. Jo's just finished doing the Taupo ultra marathon.
Yes, correct.
Which is absolutely extraordinary. I have to say, you finished it. You did really well.
I finished it. I got over the finish line. Did it.
You're still alive, still walking, not in bed, lying horizontal as you told me you would be, which is amazing. It's a miracle.
I think, well, it is actually. And I was actually surprised I was able to walk next day. I mean, don't get me wrong, my knees were a little bit stiff and they seized up if I sat down too much. But no, up and around, walking, went to the hot pools on the way home.
Lovely.
I know. And then,
Just have to say, that day I did a 27k run and I couldn't walk afterwards, and I can still feel it now. Anyway, I was going to do a 5k run that day, and then I just thought, Jo is running 74. I'm going to keep going. So I didn't plan to go any longer, but I just thought I'm going to see where the pain hits, because I was really where you were talking about the pain and the fear before. So then when the pain hit, I thought, Jo's running 74k. I'm in pain now at 2k. I'm going to keep going. But it was agony. It was really painful.
Yeah, it was painful.
But yours, I was on flat road. You were on mud. You were on rocky terrain. You had to watch your feet every step. Had a huge incline. And then I was reading actually yesterday, and it says it's harder coming down on your legs than going up.
Yeah, there is. I mean, and it's just how you engage your muscles as well. You've got to make sure your glutes are engaged, especially when you're going downhill, so that takes the pressure off your knees and things like that. So I'm quite good at doing...
Your glutes being your bum.
My bum.
You have to engage your bum when you're running.
Yeah.
How do you engage your bum when you're running? That's where I go wrong. I don't think my bum does anything other than kind of go blub blub behind me when I'm running.
Mine doesn't, I can say.
I just have to say, I think you're absolutely incredible to do that. But did you enjoy it? Was there any moments you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed all of it, actually. Well, no, don't get me wrong. There was the odd dark moment within the 74 kilometres. But my darkest moment was the day before, which was kind of really surprising to me, because the whole week leading up to going, I'd actually been quite excited about it. I'd got my head around it. I thought, yeah, this is it. I'm going to do it. It's a challenge. It's an adventure. And yeah, I was quite excited. But then got down to Taupo the Thursday night. Friday we were quite relaxed, and I just kind of went into this total zone, and I was quite anxious. I was quite fearful, and rather than try to hide that, and rather than try to mask that by being loud and vivacious and fun, which is kind of how I normally am, I accepted it. And I went within, I really went and learned the lessons, and I went to find out what I was fearful of, why I was feeling what I was feeling. So it was really interesting. And, it was the unknown, doing 74 kilometres, going on terrain that I'd never been on. I didn't know Taupo very well. I'd only visited there a couple of times. Even just the little things like getting the boat out in the morning to the beach to be dropped off, to then start running through the bush. It's kind of quite cool and quite crazy. And although I was excited about it, I was really anxious. But as I say, I just accepted the feelings, and it didn't last all day, but it lasted quite a large chunk of the day.
So were you kind of aware when you were running that of all the different emotions you were going through, or do you feel you'd overcome those? I mean, in the sense that you'd reach pain levels and be aware of the pain, or reach fear or dark places and be aware of it and sort of analyse what it felt like, or not?
No, I think, the day before I was analysing a lot of stuff, because that was time to address my emotions, whereas on the day it was different, because you're just literally putting one foot in front of the other. And you're in the middle of nowhere, so you can't stop. Because you stop, what's going to happen? People would come and pick you up if you really had to. You could go and find a marshal at the next station or whatever, but in theory, you just have to keep going. So that was my theory in my head. That was my mantra. One foot in front of the other. Just keep moving. Just keep going forward. Just keep going. And honestly, it's the most bizarre thing, because I thought I'd have tons of time to talk to people. I thought I might listen to
talk when you're running.
Oh, I do that a lot. I can't ever shut my mouth, can I?
I can't breathe when I'm running, let alone talk to somebody.
But normally I'm a chatterbox when I'm running. I thought I'd be meeting people on the way, talking to people. I thought I'd be listening to my music. I thought I'd have a lot of time to think. I actually didn't really think about anything. It was almost like a whole 12 hours of meditation. It was quite crazy.
It was amazing.
It's being really mindful, being in the moment. And I did pass a few pleasantries with people. I wasn't totally rude as I ran past them, or they ran past me. Hey.
I don't think anyone ran past you, from what I hear. I think you ran past a lot of people, but nobody ran past you. Do you know, Jo, when I was running, I was really aware, I was in pain. It wasn't like you, I was actually in pain because I haven't done a 27K before. But I was really aware that in the pain and in the emotion of what I was thinking and feeling, that I could either turn my music off and be in it and analyze the emotion and the feeling, or turn the music on and kind of run to the beat and forget what I was going through. And it made me think that in life, we can either be in the emotion and feeling of what we're going through and analyze it and go through it, or we can switch it off and go into something else to distract ourselves from it.
Yeah.
And I was trying to work out which one's most important in life, because obviously sometimes we run away, don't we? We don't want to face things. We don't want to face pain of our emotions or feelings. And other times it's really important to actually be in it and work it out what it is. And when I was in the pain and I wasn't listening to the music, I was thinking it's too unbearable. I had to stop. I couldn't breathe. But then I thought, what makes the pain? I know you're laughing. Well, Jo's not my personal fitness gym. But I was thinking, what makes something pain as opposed to pleasurable? Could you turn something that's really painful into a pleasurable experience? Look who's at the window. We've got a gorgeous little boy at the window, little 2-year-old who's delightful.
Can you turn something painful into pleasure?
Yeah, can you? Because when you're in it and you analyse it, what's the difference between pleasure and pain? Can you tell the difference? It's only that we label one as one and one as the other.
We're going to have to just shut up now, aren't we?
No, we're doing a live podcast.
We're on live. So you're all right. You can all join in if you want.
You can bring him over here because it's so beautiful. Hello, gorgeous.
Is anyone on? Hi.
No, but they will.
Yeah, we're live. Oh, it's gorgeous. It's lovely. Can you actually tell the difference between pain and pleasure?
Well, first, what you just said, though.
I mean, you're saying that your run was a pleasurable experience. And I'm saying mine was painful.
You know, but what you're asking, you just said two different things as well. Then you said something about that you could either be really distracted. You could distract yourself from the feelings you were having.
Yeah.
Or you could sit with the feelings. So, guys, you are going to have to shut up. Don't do that here. Oh my God.
We've got cushions being blown up. Farty cushions, I think, aren't they?
Do
you
you think we should just stop this?
No, I don't know. No. We are what we are, so it doesn't matter, does it?
Anyway, you were asking, there was two different things. You said about the distraction of the pain. Well, that's kind of it's different from the pleasure pain, I think, isn't it? But I think in life we need both of those tools. So one, like on the Friday before my run, I sat with the pain, I sat with the fear, I sat with the anxiety. I allowed myself to feel it. I chose not to distract myself from that because I felt it was an important part of the process from where I was going.
Yeah.
However, sometimes in life, I will put on the music and dance around the house, because that's what I need to do there and then. And it's just having a understanding of who you are and what's working for you at that time. Now, I know for me, when I want to grow and when I want to learn more about myself, I sit with the emotions and I sit with the pain. And it might be loneliness, or it might be physical pain, or it might be emotional pain. I will sit with it and I will allow myself to work through it. However, there's an occasion I think, I don't want to do this right now. So then I will distract myself. But you're saying, how do we turn pleasure into pain or pain into pleasure? I don't know. I think that's just a different perspective. Like, some people look at me and say, you know, when I say I've done this run, and even you running 27 kilometres the weekend, people will look at you like you're totally mad, because it'd be something that's just not within their psyche to do ever. And they will think, that is pure pain. But again, it's a story they're telling themselves.
It is, and that's what's really important, because that's what you're really good at. That you tell yourself a certain story and you just repeat certain words over yourself again and again. And when I was running, all I could think was, the thing that really helped me was, my eldest son has got the most extraordinary resilience of anyone I know. And when he had verrucas, he was a small child, I used to freeze his verrucas with this horrible, I don't know if you've ever done that. Yours probably didn't have verrucas, but mine did. And Henry, at a very small age, at 5, when all the others would scream and stop me doing it because it gets so painful, he would just hold himself and he'd say, it's just a feeling, it's just a feeling. And the feeling could be pleasurable, and he'd sit there and have his verrucas frozen off, and they would disappear within, 20 minutes. But he was able to say to himself, it's just a feeling. So when I was running, I was thinking what he was saying, it's just a feeling, it's just a feeling. And so he's done some extraordinary things in life that have been what most people would seem impossible. And he's spoken to himself, it's just a feeling. And therefore his resilience is absolutely extraordinary. But can you do that when you're analysing pain? And I know some of you listeners will be in incredible, some of you physical pain and sickness, some of you will be in trauma, lots of you will be in trauma, emotional pain, broken relationships, end of a career, or retirement, or children leaving home, empty nesters. When you sit with that pain as opposed to avoiding it, how do we deal with it? And that's our life lesson, I guess, isn't it? There's not an answer at all. But when you think about doing a run, or to me something that seems impossible, 74k run, how do we overcome it? And I guess that's our learning, isn't it? To actually sometimes be in it, and as you say, and other times you don't need to be in it. You just actually need a glass of wine or something, a good friend.
And to be fair, most things in life are not impossible.
No.
There is things that are impossible, I get that. But if you work hard or if you really want to achieve something, you will find a way to get there. And whether that's a personal goal or getting over trauma or getting through them bad things in life, it is just about breaking it down into small chunks. Like I didn't think about the 74k run. If you want to put it down into bite-sized chunks, I ran 15k and I went, oh yeah, I've done like, what is it, a fifth or something.
Yeah.
Do my maths while I'm thinking. I've done a fifth of a run. Then I got to 25k and I went, yeah, I've done a third. Then I got to 30 odd, and then I was like, oh my god, I'm nearly halfway there. So I broke it down to bite-sized chunks.
Yeah.
I didn't look at the full 74k because it just would have seemed so enormous. And that's how I get through everything in life. Everything. So whether it's having to leave a relationship, I don't think about, well, I do think about the long-term results. I think about the end line and what you want, but then I break it down to small chunks. What can I do today to get there?
So for teenagers and young people who haven't had to overcome something quite major in their life, either emotional, physical, or anything else, if you can overcome one small thing, then next time you come to something that's got difficult in your life, you can say, well, I did that last time, so I can do it again. It's about building resilience. I was thinking before we did this podcast, actually, about the role of resilience and endurance in our life. That's really important in terms of being able to survive, isn't it?
We're all born with it as well. I mean, it's the same old story about, and that's what when I go and teach kids in school, I talk to them, I say, what have you overcome in life? And they don't think they've achieved much, or they don't think they've overcome much, or they don't think they've tried so hard till they've achieved something. And I go back to telling them the story about when you learn to walk. How many times did you fall over? Yeah. How many times did you fall over, fall on your bottom, fall on your face, wobble? How many times did you do that, but you got up over and over and over again till you got to walk? That is how life is. We get knocked down, we get things thrown at us, we wobble, but we get there. And we're all born with that resilience, but it's just about, the same as anything, it's like if you're going to make your body physically stronger, you have to do things every day to do it, or so many times a week. It's exactly the same with the mind.
So I've set myself a target.
What's your target?
Every Sunday, I'm going to try and do a 27k run.
27, it's a very precise number.
Well, only because actually it was 26.83 or something, because I put it in Strava in my app. I didn't know how far I was going to run, so I just was running the coastal run. It was quite nice. So then, of course, I got there and thought, oh, I haven't got any money to get back. Didn't have a bus card or anything. Thought the only way to get back is to run back. So I wasn't planning it, but I thought, right, I'm going to set myself a target. And then somebody said to me, Sue, that was 3/4 of a marathon. So I thought, okay, well, maybe I could do a half marathon. So then I was thinking about setting yourself tasks in life and setting yourself targets, because you talked about earlier about growing, because life is about growing, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we're stagnant in life, sometimes we feel safe and secure. But at other times when we grow, we feel as though we're being stretched and enlightened and just facing amazing things that we wouldn't have faced.
Mm-hmm.
But it's all the yin and the yang, the highs with the lows, isn't it?
Yep.
Tell me about some of your highs in the race or after the race. What were your highs?
Highs. Well, one of the highs was when I got to the airfield, or the airstrip, and I think that was about 25 k's in. So that's
Why did you think you were going to hitch a lift on the plane?
Yeah. Woohoo! No, just because I got to change my socks.
Oh, so it wasn't anything to do with the airstrip.
No,
socks.
I had wet feet, and I was like, I don't want wet feet. It's really dry.
But then didn't you change your socks and then you landed straight away in a puddle or something?
Yeah, I changed my socks and I ran a kilometre down this freaking field, and there was this
big,
massive muddy patch. I went, for the love of God, you've got to be